System, EMS, the collaboration platform, and the committee internal voting. I will start with the expert management system. So here you can find a link which directs you directly to the expert management system, or you can also access this through the CENELEC expert area under applications and services. How to log in? It is with your CENELEC account. You can also use your ISC account, so it's both the same. What is the expert management system? So it is a central repository for managing committees, organizations, users, and their roles. And the access is provided by national committees who also appoint the experts. They create a profile of an expert, and then the expert receives a notification with the login information, and then the expert can access it and also modify the password. National committees also determine the roles and the permission of the experts. Then the second tool is the collaboration platform. So there's also in this presentation, there's a direct link to the collaboration platform, but same as in the expert management system, you can access it through the CENELEC expert area, and you will find it under applications and services. You can also, the login information is your CENELEC or ISC password and username. And the link now with the EMS is that your personal lists depend on the access permissions given via the EMS, so via your profile. And your personal space is defined by the different business groups and workspaces and sub-workspaces. And it is possible to create a favorite list of workspaces for your frequent use with quick links. And as said, the accesses are given by the national committees for experts, and CCMC or we give the access to technical body officers and observers, such as our affiliates, our partners, and the European Commission. Now I will give you a quick demo of the collaboration platform. 1 second. So as I said, you can access it through the CENELEC expert area. And here you can see there is some latest news. So you see what kind of trainings are going on. Is there any new updates IT-wise, etc. If you scroll down, you see here the applications and services, and you have direct links to the different applications. For example, here you can find the expert management system and the collaboration platform. I will show you now the collaboration platform. So if you click on it, you go directly to the collaboration platform. And what you can see here is the different parts. So there is the CENELEC part where there is all the TCs. And then you have the workspaces, my workspaces, where you have the access which is given through the expert management system. You have my favorites, where you can make a specific workspace to your favorites. So it's a quick link to this specific workspace. My documents, my discussions, and my tasks. I would just open a workspace for you now to show it to you. So there is this first layer of workspace. It is a read-only layer, so everybody can see it. And then there is a second layer, which is the sub-working space. And there, it's only for people who are given access to this specific workspace. And here you can see the parts again. So documents, discussion, you can find documents, you can draft, edit, upload, or download documents, and you can send document notifications. In discussions, you can also find, start, participate, or just watch which discussions are going on. In sub-working spaces, there is here in this one, there is no sub-workspace, but you will find sub-working spaces if there are. Under tasks that are tasks that are assigned to a user and or to you, and you can also create tasks. You can change a task status, you can discuss a task, or you can edit and delete a task. And the last part is the members. So you can find all information about the members of this specific workspace. Okay, and just to give you already, I would jump a bit in forward, but all information which you, or all of information, user guides can be also found directly on the collaboration platform under this eye here. And here you can see there is a link to the user guide. There is a part which is about frequently asked questions, and you can find all information about release notes of the past 2 years, 3 years. Okay, I will go back to my presentation. Okay. So in the collaboration platform, there are different accesses. So there is the first, the editor access. This is the full write access. So it is for officers and CCMC staff. And here you can create folders, you can upload documents, you can move or delete folders and documents, and you can send document notifications. As an author, you have limited write access. This is an access for all national committee officials, members, and observers. You can create folders, you can upload documents, and you can move or delete your own folders and your own documents. And the last access is the reader access. And as it already explains itself, it's a reading access only. And this is for national participants. The collaboration platform or information on the collaboration platform can also be found on the IEC website under Academy and Capacity Building. And there you can find public webinars which give you an explanation of what the IC platform is. There is one from 2018 where they introduced a new IC collaboration platform. It's a training for all users. In 2019, there was an update on the collaboration platform. There's a webinar on it, and a more recent one in 2021 in June. There is a webinar on National Committee Administrator training. And also CENELEC has training availabilities, and they can be found here through this link. As I already said or already showed to you in the demo, so here's again, there is information on user guides, frequently asked question, and release notes on the platform or on the tool directly. It's on the eye. And the new releases, so every time there's a new release, there is already also a release note. And I just want to mention the main features or main features of the last releases. And this is the first one is the versioning, where you can manage document versions while the previous version of the document remains available. There's also the possibility to get a summary of all the changes. and an author can upload a new version whether or not he or she is the owner of this document. Another feature is the document move. So editors can move documents between different workspaces. And the last main feature is the custom distribution lists, where you can create a custom distribution list. Okay, thank you very much. And I will give the floor now to my colleague, Mélanie.
Thank you, Anna. Can I get the sharing screen, please?
Yes.
So good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Mélanie Herfurth, and today I will be presenting, sorry for the flicking on your screen. Okay, I will be presenting the committee internal voting, which is a tool used by technical committee to have surveys, questionnaires online to try and help them with their work. So the tool is similar to the CEN-CIB, which is the CEN Committee Internal Balloting. It's similar in the way that it's allowing technical committees to have questionnaires, but it's a bit different in terms that the committee internal balloting on the CEN side has templates and I think a bit stricter rules than the CIV on the CENELEC side, which is a bit more free. So the workflow for the committee internal voting is, so there's a ballot created, different notifications are sent, we will see at different times. Then participant can access and consult the ballot. They can vote. Participants get a reminder before it's closed, and then results are sent in a zip file, and so that the technical committee can do the follow-up. So that's the general flow of a committee internal voting. So the logging is the same as usual. It's your IC, CENELEC, or for some national committees, it's your national login. They're all the same. And the access is, so for, there's a default access, so we cannot change anything to the access. It's if you are given such role, you get the access, and we cannot provide that type of access to someone who does not have a particular role in EMS. So it's managed by EMS, just like other CENELEC applications. So the role that is vote owner. So that is given to TC secretaries, SC secretaries, assistant secretaries, and BTTF conveners. So this is a default access that people have with their role. And it's not possible to allocate it to someone who is not a TC secretary or an assistant or a convener. Also, national committees have so the admins for national committees, so people managing accesses in EMS, they have the possibility to give a voter role to one of the representatives for the national committee. So they are the one, accesses are not given by CCMC, so it's given by national committees. They can choose who gets to vote on the CIV or not. Then CCMC will give access to the commenting part, so partners, external liaison organization, CENELEC consultant, whoever needs to get access as an observer. Although I haven't seen many so far, but I guess there must be some given by colleagues at data service. But yeah, that's the only access we're giving. The rest is managed by national committees themselves. So you can access the internal voting by the direct link as usual, or you can have access to the platform via the CEN-CENELEC website into the CEN-CENELEC tool sections. So we will go on to the internet, and we will see so that you can have an idea. I've got everything open here. So here we are on the website, and then so if you go to the CENELEC expert area, then you've got the usual electronic voting card, and then once the card is open, you access the voting platform. So probably not all of you have everything. This is also managed by your accesses, but I've got on admin access. Obviously, I've got a lot going on there. So this is the live platform. So you can see that there are votes going on. I'm going to go on to the test platform so that we can, I can show you how one is done live for those who haven't tried it yet, who are not. So what you will have is, so you've got a form to fill in, and there's some red stars for where you have to fill in something. So you have a drop-down list with the TCs. So if you're only responsible for one TC, obviously you will only have one TC in your drop-down list. It's the same as usual. I've got a full admin access, so I can see everything. So I can choose any TC I want. You can see that BTTFs are also on reporting secretariat, and subcommittees can also open CIVs. So it's not going further down. So no working group do not have the access to run a CIV. So you can enter a reference, and then you can enter a title to your document. And then here it's a hyperlink only. So we've had some questions on how is it possible to link a document to the CIV, but unfortunately that is not possible. You can only give a hyperlink. So what we recommend to do is go to the collaboration platform, load your document, and just copy and paste the URL, and so that you can copy the hyperlink in there. Now for dates, as you can see, today is the 7th of December, and my default opening date is the 7th of December. So this is one of the reasons I'm always having a demonstration and never just a running video or just slides for people to look at themselves. It's because that one has been causing trouble for people using the CIV. If you leave today as the opening date, that means your ballot is open today. And if your ballot is open today, you can no longer modify the questionnaire. So which means that if I press save now, and I won't be able to put any questions on my CIV because it's considered open, and once it's open, normally you're not supposed to go and modify because people may have started voting for all the reasons that you already know, that we cannot modify something that is already open. So here, I don't know why the default date is today, but I've been always, like every year, I remind to people, be careful to change it to at least to the next day, so that when I press save, it's not going to be open. It's going to open only tomorrow, and then it will also change your adjust your closing date. You can choose if you want an online comment type or if you want a file attachment. If you want a file attachment, it's the usual comment file that is used in all voting platforms. So it has to be that format. And then when you save, so only when you save, you can set up a questionnaire. So then when you have saved, you have that different set of buttons, and you've got that one configure questionnaire, which will not appear if you save with today's date. So that has been causing some trouble for people trying to create a CIV. So that's why I'm always reminding people to pay attention. And normally, once is aware of it, then it's fine. So when you want to configure the questionnaire, so that's the questionnaire you have, you can see there's a document linked, and then you can type in all your questions, and you can choose the type of answer you want. So you've got a whole lot of yes, no, and abstain and in favor. So I think they're all the same. It's just if you want a yes or a no, or if you want an abstain. I think that the three things that I usually used. And you can also choose to have a free response. So if you choose a free response, the rest of the area is great, because that means people will just type in or copy paste in their response to the questionnaire. So there's no other selection to do. But if you choose a yes, no, abstain, for example. So you can choose, you know, abstain, and then you can force participants to give or not a comment. So you can say that, for example, for yes, then if they say yes, I don't want any comments, just yes is yes. And if they say no, then I want them to give a comment, because why do they say no? And if they abstain, then they can choose to give a comment. So that's something that can be done. And then once your question is in, you can just save. And then your question is up here. So you can see already question number, what you've put as a questions in case you've got several questions and you want to see which one you've done already or what number you're up to, then you can see it just from here. You can also delete them from here. So that's also one of the possibility. You can just delete the question if you don't need it. And then when that's done, you can go back. And so now we're just going to tweak the questionnaire to have it open. So if I do save now, you will see that oh, that's changed. That's something new. We can still configure the questionnaire. That's a good thing. I wasn't aware of that one. That's something that IEC colleagues changed. That's a really good thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reopen the vote management. I'm going to see if I can see my questionnaire, if the vote management is willing to open. Nope. Yep. Here I can see my questionnaire, so as a test, and I can choose to go and vote. I see why it did open. And here, of course, I have an admin. So this is the same as TC secretary would say, because you are able to cast a vote for another participant in case you would need to, like someone could not participate or for whatever reason, there is a possibility to cast a vote for another participant. And if you click on here, you can see the questionnaire. So you can see who's voting. You can see title. If there was a note put in the form at the beginning, you can see the note. You can click on the document. I'm trying to click on the document. Yep, that's opening or not my document. Yes, it is opening my document. That's good. And then you can choose to vote or no. So if you vote yes, then we said no comment are allowed. If we vote no, we said we have to put a comment. And abstain is you can choose to put a comment or not. So once a vote was cast, you can see when you come back as a TC secretary, you can see that you received a response. So when there's all 30 odd members, you can see how many members have already voted. If you really need everyone to reply, for example, if you want to monitor who's been voting, not, you can see what's missing, who's missing. You can see which countries didn't vote yet.
Melanie?
Yes.
I apologize. Could you zoom in on your screen a bit? It's a bit difficult.
Oh, really? Sorry. Is it small?
A little bit.
Sorry. Should I go back a few steps? Or it's fine.
Perhaps just with this section, that would be appreciated. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Thank you very much.
That's fine. I can go back a little bit. Sorry about that. I've got always a small resolution. Yeah. Okay.
They're saying that's much better.
Okay, that's good then. I will go back to when I cast a vote, and then if anyone wants to see something, we've got plenty of time after that, so we can go through the whole voting process again. If someone didn't see something, that's no problem.
Thank you.
So yeah, so here is when I was casting a vote. So you can say yes, yes, no comment allowed. So you can see I cannot click into the comment field. No, I have to, or it's not letting me close it's not letting me reply, and abstain, I can choose. So I'm gonna do a no for this one and reply. Okay, and now if I go back again, so as a TC secretary profile, so I can see I've received more responses. 32 did not respond yet, though 32 did not respond yet. And I can see here for question 1 that I've got yes or no, and the little star showing me I have a comment. So that is yeah, the whole, and see here you've got a calculation that is done. So that's for when casting a vote. Now, when your deadline is reached, and the tool is going to compile for you the results. So basically, as TC secretary, you have access to this part. It's a bit slow, yeah, it heard me. And there you can see everything that was closed, and you can get the zip file directly from the platform where you have all your results compiled in a zip file. So you can see that everything was being compiled into one document. If it was an online, it'd be only one document. If it was a common file, it will give you all the common files and then compile into one common file. And the tool is like doing the work for you, so it's quite interesting. Also, notifications are given. There's a rule on the notification, so there's it's not that you can send the notifications, the system is sending a notification. I've already had questions like, how can we have a 2-day vote, where I said I don't think there's anything not allowing it, but the notification will go out for people to do a 2-day vote. So those kind of thing is I will show you on the CENELEC bus. There's colleagues have been drafting things also to help with the CIV. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. Yeah, so just going through again to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. So we creating a vote, so it's quite easy. You've got just that add little button with only your TCs. So you can create for your own TCs only. You don't, no worries, you cannot create for another one by mistakes. You need to fill in some of the metadata. Some are mandatory, some are not, like the note is not, the rest is mandatory. Be careful to the opening date. Having today's day as the opening date may cause issues for the system and prevent you from creating the questionnaire. Then you can choose to have your comment online or a file attachment for the comments, and then you can choose the number of questions you need and how you want to people to answer, if it's a free answer or if they have to say yes, no, abstain, and if they have or not to give comments. Then you can download the result as a zip file as a TC secretary, but all participants, although there is an issue at the moment, but I will explain that later, will receive a notification. So at the opening of the vote, it might not be on the day the vote is opening. It might be just a small delay because of the system in IC that needs to collect what was open and then send out the notifications. So there might be 1 day of delay, I think. But if your vote is long enough, I think it's all right to have just it's just how the system is working. There's not much we can do. There's a notification at 4 weeks if it's lasting more than 4 weeks, and 1 week before the deadline. And then participants receive a notification when the vote is closed, and they can access the zip file directly from the notification, although we have been investigating lately that apparently it's no longer possible to access that zip file, but hopefully this is going to be solved very soon. Now for the CIV documentations, I think it's we've had many questions. So if you go onto the CENELEC bus, so it's the address is bus.cenelec.eu. If you don't know it, you can just Google it, like CENELEC bus. It will come up directly. And if you go to reference material and then guidance document, you've got different documents on the CIV that you can read on. And so there is, for example, the definition, when to use it, duration, what to do with it. The tool was very just put there as it's a questionnaire, use it however you want. And then we realized that people really wanted to have a kind of framework to use it properly. So that's what our colleagues from the BT Secretariat have started to do. And so they've put up on the CENELEC bus that CIV, Committee Internal Voting article, so that you can have a bit more guidance if you need them. And they've also put up some examples on what to do with the CIV. So for example, the approval of your business plan, appointing a chair or a convener, if a new work item is accepted within the TC before it's processed further, if you want to create a working group, if you want to have a call for experts, if you want to skip formal votes, if you want to do a review on one of the standards. So all these kind of things, example you can find, so they're just here. So if you go to reference material guidance document, you can have the examples here. And then also is the user manual, which is very long and very complete, I think. I think it's about 32 pages, quite long, but there's a lot of drawings. But there you can find all the how it's working, what button you can click, what it's doing when you click it. It's really detailed, so I don't think it's worth to just read it, the whole of it, but it's good for consultation if you need it. And yeah, for the CIV, that's it. We've reached the end of it. So as Anna mentioned, we have a shorter session than the colleagues on the CEN side, because there's a bit more applications on that side. But we are free now for any questions you may have. Also, before we dive into questions, if you have an issue with any of our applications, you can contact us at itsupport@CEN-CENELEC.eu. There that's where we centralize all the requests with issues and things like that. What we often do when you contact us with an issue, we often ask you for a print screen or where you were trying to connect. So if you remember to send us a print screen or the link you were trying to reach and you didn't manage, that is helping making things go faster for us to investigate and help you better. So now, if there are any questions, I think we can go right in and dive into the questions.
We have one from Francois Rumens. Why is there an X after TC8? So TC8X?
Oh, that is something I think a colleague that has been there much longer than Anna or I have would be able to answer. I think it's something with the IEC. Normally, CENELEC TCs are paired with IEC TCs, and there was a reason for those X's, and I think that they were reporting secretariat or something like that, and then changing to TC, and then they get an X. But that would be, I mean, we will keep the questions, and I will go to a colleague who's been there with CENELEC for years, and they will be able to answer better that one, because I'm not sure myself. I'm afraid I'm not long enough with CENELEC to remember that.
Perhaps it's something that could be brought up in the joint session as well.
It might be that Eric in the joint session can remember.
Okay.
But I'm not, I would rather go to someone from business than IT.
Okay, then Francois, what we're going to do is, like she said, we're going to consult one of the other colleagues, and so I'll send it by mail afterwards. I also have a question. Oh, I have a comment from Christian Marian. An X is added in case the scope of the TC is different, even slightly to the IEC TC.
Oh, thank you very much.
You, Christian.
We have learned something as well today. That's good.
Yes, thank you.
That just shows that it's an interesting session. And then there was a question that he had earlier, but it seems like Anna's been able to answer that in terms of the rights on the CP. So the editor and co are automatically linked to the role like a vote owner access for CIB linked to EMS. can it happen that we need to contact you to give rights to an assigned secretary if not given the rights yet? And Anna replied, the access is automatically linked to the role. A new secretary will have to be appointed or appropriated access through the role of secretary.
Yes.
So thank you, Anna.
Yes. For CIV, unfortunately for CIV, there's no other way than appoint the person to the role in EMS to give those accesses.
And then I've had a hand raised by one of the attendees, but I think that might just be on accident. So
I don't know. I think it's Elena.
yeah, I
Borisova.
sent her a message, but I don't seem to be getting a response. So perhaps we can email her afterwards.
Okay.
But other than that, I think those are all the questions we've had so far. Please, if you have a question, type it out in the Q&A available at the bottom of your screen. Or I also have access to the chat function.
Yeah, and then we have another 20 minutes until the next session. So if you would like to see something from the collaboration platform or from the CIV, so we've got the test platforms open, so we can play around with them as much as you want.
I think what I'll do is, so the next session is at the joint sessions at 2:30. I'll put that link also in the chat as well.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much, Melanie and Anna. I think perhaps we can maybe just stay online for the remainder. I'll keep the session open.
Okay, we're available. If someone wants to think 5 minutes before asking something and then they remember they want to ask something, then we are available until 2:30. But if you want to take a short break before the next session, please feel free to go onto your break.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Christian. So I've just seen your question. So so for everyone, so you said that I mentioned that it's best to create the CIV on the next day, but the default date is today. I completely agree with you that the default date should be tomorrow. But when we realized basically IEC had finished the development on the application and they were not doing anything else. So this is in the list, things to do in the list for the next time they're gonna develop the application, do modification on the application, because obviously we can't really ask them to do bits here and there because they have their own schedule for working. But it's in my list for next time we do modification on the CIV. I've got a list of small things to do, and that is one of them. But I agree with you that it's not a then yeah, the multiple no's and yes, actually I'm wondering myself. I think they added a type of questions and that made it it doubled the no's and yes. I'm not sure they are in actually in production, if they are also the multiple no's and yes. But yeah, I can't really, I'm not really willing to open the production and do something like that in production in case just I don't want to mess up with one of the TC's workspace. But yeah, I kind of remember that there was something with a new feature added, and then they couldn't remember the no, they couldn't remove the no's and the yes. But I'm not sure if it's the same in production as in the test environment. It's possible that it's not in production, but obviously I'm not using it in production, so I can double check it and come back to you later. But I think you can use just any no's and yes that are there.
Okay. I think I'm going to close out this session.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for participating.
Thank you very much. Hope you guys all have a great day. And just to remind you guys, there's a joint session at 2:30 available for you. I have put the link in the chat, but you should have also received a link from your registration. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.